is BT with the BT Motegi GP review. Let's get right to it. Hey, sorry it took so long, but I was waiting for you-know-who to say he was going to you-know-where. And look how that turned out. My bad. Listen, I thought the GP was just okay, but through no fault of the riders, it just happens that way. Even the 98 Bulls had bad games, like Michael didn't dunk, Scotty's feet hurt, Dennis Rodman didn't know who he was. Was he a he that night or a she that night? Who knows? So, anyway, let's get right to it. Moto 3, Home Alone has grown up. He's showing up and showing out. He's my ride of the race. Heartbreak goes to Dennis Anchu. Hachu, God bless you. That kid, yeah, that's his crew chief. Anyway, he's my heartbreak. I think it's over for Dennis as far as winning the championship, but you never know. I can see Dennis maybe running the table, man. Anyway, Moto 2, when Samtrak Chantra is on, that dude is in fuego. He gets hot like pastrami. And it's amazing how when he's on, it's like he and Agura are brothers, and Agura don't want to be outdone, so they go 1-2. Great job by Chantra. He's my rider of the race. Heartbreak goes to Tony Abellina. Have you seen her? Have you seen Abellina? Tell me, have you seen him? I don't know what's going on with Tony Abellina. He's just letting the championship just slip by. He really is. I don't know what's going on with, maybe because he didn't get the factory ride. It's affected him, but who knows? But anyway, we move on. Motogp. Let me tell you something about the rain race. A rain race is like a fire drill, a fire alarm at 3 o'clock in the morning in a college dorm. Where everybody's emptied out into the streets, right? And all the pretty girls are out there makeup, and you're like, oh, shit. Is that you, Heather? And she's like, yeah. Right? But all the plain Janes that you passed up, they pretty much look the same. And that's what the rain race is. It's a pretty girl without the makeup. It's like, let's see how good you really are. Anybody can ride on a dry track, but how about a wet track? And it just goes to show you Marquez still has it because he was in Pecco's ass. I was going to pick him for rider of the race, but I got to get Bezzecchi. Bezzecchi at one time was 12th place, came up finishing 4th. Heartbreak has to go to Brad Bender. Listen, I have nothing against Brad Bender. I like Brad Bender, have nothing against him, but let's just be honest. Everybody talks about him like he's the shit. And I mean, let's just be honest, man. I mean, he's had his opportunities. Everybody crashed it, but he got outbeat. He got outbeat. Jesus Christ. He got outperformed in the Mazzano G. I showed my real Oklahoma roots, didn't I? He got outbeat. Let's go to Walmart. He got outperformed by his 35-year-old test rider in Mazzano, which I thought kind of was embarrassing, and no one talked about that. So anyway, heartbreak goes to Brad Bender. Listen, and then we get to the meat of the meat of this, and that's, first of all, let's go to Pedro Acosta, right? Pedro is better than people give. Pedro's so good that even when he finishes third, people go, hey man, what's up with your boy? He still finished third. He got a podium. He knows when to turn on, turn it off. But listen, here's the deal. That was nasty. You see me spit. Here's the deal. I just think it's wrong that they move Augusto Fernandez to the practice squad, basically. He's going to be a test rider, and then he's going to, do a couple wild cards in 2025. We'll get you on the team. He's nobody's Rudy Boot. He's a young kid in his prime. What's he going to do in the meantime? Driving a Red Bull bus, selling Red Bulls at sporting events? Like, hey, got your Red Bull here. Aren't you Augusta? See. I mean, let's be honest, man. It should have been Miller or Espargo, so I feel bad for him. They say the day of the Lord cometh like a thief in the night, and that thief in the night was KTM, and they said, hey, Augusta, guess what? Little baby Jesus needs a ride. And you know what? Your seat is going to be his ride. Now you know how Joseph felt when Mary was like, I'm pregnant. He goes, what? You what? And I didn't get a chance to smash, but you, okay. Okay. That's what it's like. I feel bad for Augusta. Little baby Jesus needs a ride. And hey, you're Joseph, bro. You without. That's just how it is. And I think it's so wrong. But anyway, let's move to MotoGP. And you know what I'm talking about. Marquez going to Ducati. And listen, you know it's going to happen because Birdie was basically saying it the whole weekend. And then Simon Crafa was like, listen, I think Mark is going to go. I mean, you see it in his eyes. Normally, I would say he's staying. But this time, I got to say Mark is going. You see it in his eyes. And I think it's time. I think he's going. Yeah. I love Simon. He loves the riders because he used to be a rider. So you can't really joke with Simon about that. I think he takes it personal. He doesn't know the jokes. It's just a joke. But anyway, that's my Simon. Anyway, but yeah, he said he thinks Mark is going. We all think Mark is going. Pecco at the end of the press conference said, welcome to the family. And if that's the case, Mark said, be like, well, shit, I guess I'm at the head of that family, goddamn. I mean, let's be honest here, man. I mean, Mark, as always, he sucks up the energy of the room because, look, Rossi was the greatest personality ever for MotoGP. Nobody's really claimed that since, except for Marquez. Marquez is not so much a great personality. He's got the great laugh and he got the bubbly personality, but he's so good that you can't help but just watch his every move, and that's what he's like. Granted, Martin and Pecco, what they're doing right now, it's going to be, I hope it goes down to Valencia. I really do. Martin is on a tear, but it's still Marquez. Where's he going? And it really, and that rain race, like I said, Marquez shows that he's off in that ass, bruh. And great race by him. It shows he's fast. I don't think he's faster than Martin, but he's smarter than all of them. A route of the race goes to Marco Bezzecchi. He was 12th, ended up getting 4th. Heartbreak. Like I said, heartbreak goes to Brad Binder, but it's all about Marquez. And by the way, no one talks about who's going to inherit the Repsol seat. No one talks about that. Here's what I think they should do. Have Augusto Fernandez go to Repsol Honda. He gets to race. He's on that shit bike anyway. But you know what? They treat the Repsol seat the same way they treat Catherine Zeta-Jones if she walk into a nightclub at like last call. You're like, nah, that's cool. Everybody, nah, I'm good. I've got a wife. I'm a Christian. She's like, what's wrong, boys? What have you heard? And then Michael Douglas comes behind her like, yeah, I don't think you want any piece of that. That's what my Marquez is like, yeah, I mean, you don't want none of that, and you know why. That's why Mark is leaving. He gave him a chance. So, that Repsol bike is Catherine Zeta-Jones, and everybody else like, nah, I'm good. But personally, I think they should they should have Mir stay and either bring in Augusto Fernandez or bring in Jack Miller. By the way, what is going on with Miller and Mir? They get along like Rocky and Apollo during the first Rocky. We were like, hey, he's pretty good, but, I do a little boxing too, you know what I mean? Cut me, Mick. And those two go at it, but it was great to see Mir stand up for himself. They fight, because remember that one time in Austin, Mir was like, hey, sorry, and Jack kept kind of hitting him, and Mir stood up for him. It was almost like Rocky 3 when he fought Clubber Lang, and all of a sudden Mir's like, there is no tomorrow. Do you understand me? There is no tomorrow. So that's what it is. That's one of the few factory seats that not everybody wants, but it's available. Why not put either Miller there? They should have bought out Miller's contract. Honda should put Miller on the Repsol seat. He's good for press. It's still a factory ride. And then put Augusto Fernandez on the other, or get Augusto Fernandez to come in. He can still race. That's what they should have. Honda should buy out somebody's contract or do a little switch like, hey, listen, have Mark go to KTM or whatever, and we'll buy out your contract. I mean, things can be done if they really want them to be done. So I think that's what should have been done. Anyway, that's all I've got, man. I think it's getting great, but watch Samtrak Tantra during this Asian rounds coming up. He might run the table. Watch out for him in Moto 2. Hey, before I get out of here, shout out to my boy Jules. So I hope I don't ruin your last name, Jules Sisek. He had a motorcycle crash, and then while he was in the ambulance, taking him to the hospital, they just left his bike there. The Oakland police did, and then somebody came and stole the bike after he crashed. I don't know if it was total, but still. So, yeah, shout out to Jules. He's on the mend, but he's hurting. So, anyway, give a shout out to him. Prayers up. He's good. He's rehabbing. Props to you. Props to everybody for watching. Thanks, guys. It's about to get great. I think it's going to come down to Valencia for all the classes, maybe except for Moto 2. Hope I don't jinx Pedro, but I really think it's going to happen. I think I think Martin and Pecco are gonna. Hopefully, I like to see what Pecco's made of when the pressure's on. He's acting all cool now, but you never know. He might be like, who's this kid? So racing's getting better. I think it'll come down to Valencia, at least for Moto 3. Hopefully for Motogp. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry it's late, but like I said, I was waiting for who to tell me where he was going. So anyway, until then, you know the word. Bye.